Good morning, this is the Life School Nashara campus. We are following chemistry for grade 10th. Our last topic was regarding environmental pollutants and their effects. And today we are going to understand the environmental effects of pollutants, which is we can say which is a summary of our last topic, but we are going to read it in detail. So it's on your page number 140, and look here, environmental effects of pollutants, right? So your book says that environmental effects of pollutants, first effect is acid rain, second is eutrophication, third is increase in ground level ozone, fourth is greenhouse effect, fifth is global warming and increasing sea level, sixth is ozone depletion. Acid rain. What is acid rain? Acid rain is particularly the reaction of gases like carbon dioxide with water to form carbonic acid H2CO3. Similarly, the sulfur dioxide with oxygen to form sulfur trioxide. Then this sulfur trioxide will react with water to get H2SO4, sulfuric acid. So whenever the gases react with water of the atmosphere, they produces acid like carbonic acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, etc. So these acids in the rain, the composition of these acids in the rain causes the rain to be acidic. Generally what happens, as there is more concentration of carbon dioxide in the air as compared to other gases, so we say that the rain is already a bit acidic. Acidic means that its pH is a bit higher. Its pH is 5.6, right? So 5.6 pH is quite higher. pH is not higher, the acidity level is higher. If you remember your pH scale, the neutral elements or the neutral compounds are having 7, pH of 7. The more we are increasing the pH, its basicity increases, whereas if we are decreasing the pH, its acidity increases. So the rainwater is actually, it is having pH of 5.6, which is more acidic, right? So it is acidic in nature, but its acidity level is less as compared to sulfuric acid and nitric acid, etc. So number one, that it is acidic level is increased, so it will be harmful to human skin and hair, etc. It also damages statues and historical places. Another word which is a bit new word, that is eutrophication. So eutrophication is actually the addition of the composition of salt increases. If you are having water in a river and it has some sort of salts in it, what happens that when acid rain comes over here, so if it is nitric acid HNO3, what will it cause? Number one, H2O, it will be dissociated in water, and number two, it will be dissociated into nitrogen oxides, right? NOx. This NOx, then nitrogen give it or increases the level of salt. So whenever the level of salt increases in water, it causes disturbance in the aquatic lives, and that disturbance is known as the effects of eutrophication. So eutrophication is the excess amount of salts in water or enrichment of water by salts, which causes changes in the ecosystem, right? Okay. Increase in ground level ozone. So how ground level ozone, what does ground level ozone mean? So if you remember, we said that from our environment, if this is troposphere, there is no ozone layer in the troposphere. But what happens that the sun radiations continuously come over this come to the earth, right? Okay, so the gases, carbon dioxide, not carbon dioxide, just take it as NOx. Carbon dioxide is actually, but NOx causes it most. NOx, and when NOx reacts with volatile organic compounds in the presence of sunlight, they make ozone, right? And then when ozone is present in the earth's atmosphere, it causes damage to human life, it causes damage to plant life, it may cause damages to the respiratory diseases, respiratory organs, such as it brings infections in our respiratory system, that is asthma, etc., right? So ozone is actually formed in earth's surface, or not earth's surface, in earth's atmosphere by volatile organic compounds and NOx, mainly NOx, right? Okay, another thing is greenhouse effect. Before going to greenhouse effect, what greenhouse gases are, we should know. But before going on what greenhouse gases, or why do we call some gases as greenhouse gases, that is because of a particular reason. The reason is that when the scientists who work on plants, they want to cultivate a plant in winter. But which plant in winter? If they want to cultivate a plant which needs more heat, we can say that this plant can grow in summer, for example mango, and they want to cultivate it in winter. So what do? They make a structure of glass, right? What is the function of this glass? The function of this glass is to trap as more heat energy as it can. Energy from the sun comes, it is trapped by this glass. This glass is known as greenhouse. And the purpose of the greenhouse glass or this structure is what? That is to trap the energy. Greenhouse means to cultivate or to grow green plants in the presence of, or in a controlled environment. The controlled environment is such that a controlled temperature, a controlled humid level is provided to this plant inside the glass. In our case, on earth, what happens? Suppose this is earth. We do know there are different gases, pollutants. These may be SOx, oxygen, ozone, carbon dioxide, NOx, chlorofluorocarbons, which are also known as fluorinated gases, volatile organic compounds, methane, etc. So what do? What happens that the radiation from the sun comes to the environment, right? To our environment. And then these radiations, either they strike to earth and then earth re-emits them, or what happens that these compounds do absorb the radiations from the sun. So when they absorb the radiations from the sun, then obviously they have to emit these radiations, right? And when these radiations are emitted, so look over here, some radiations are coming from sun, some radiations are given from these gases, some radiations are emitted from earth, some radiations are because of the collisions among the gas particles. So that is why we say that greenhouse gases are responsible for global warming, right? And why do we call these gases as greenhouse? Because these gases act as the structure in the greenhouse, the structure of glass, which we discussed over here, which is known as greenhouse. So what is the function? The function is to trap the sun's energy. I hope this topic, this point is clear. Now come towards global warming and increasing sea level. Now global warming is increasing sea level. So how is it increasing? Sea level can be increased by two ways. The increasing of sea level can be done by two ways. These two ways, number one is the melting of glaciers, right? Melting of glaciers. Glaciers, what are glaciers? Glaciers are the mountains which are filled with snow. What happens that because of all these global warming or these greenhouse gases or the sun energy coming down, falling over the glaciers, what happens that they melt, and when they melt, floods come, and when floods come, so big cities can be drowned, right? Similarly, the sea level can be increased in other way. That is, the more there are pollutants, the more there will be heat. The more there is heat, the more there will be water evaporation, and when water evaporates, it goes up. Upside, what happens that clouds are formed, they are condensing to clouds, and then these clouds precipitates in the form of ice or in the form of rain. So usually global warming is responsible to increase the sea level, and then that sea level is responsible for damage. And then ozone depletion, with which you all are quite familiar. Ozone depletion is the decrease in the concentration of ozone in the stratosphere. And how do it decreases? That is because of the pollutants, right? Because pollutants react with this ozone, and then ozone is changed into oxygen gas or oxygen radicals, and then further reaction happens. Alright, coming towards our new topic, that is acid rain and its effects. Acid rain, what is it? So we said that acid rain, our normal rain is usually in the range of 5.6 to 6. 5.6 to 6 means it is slightly acidic according to the acid scale, right? Why is it like this? That is because of the presence of carbon dioxide in the air. When it reacts with water content of the air, it forms carbonic acid, and carbonic acid is a weak acid. Weak acid means that its pH level is high as compared to other levels. Okay, and here they say that in history, the rain with a pH level of 2.1 is also been reported in the notes. Okay. So in common language, the acid rain means excessive acid in rain water. So here there are some effects, not effects, but how acid rain is formed. If you look here, read all these, I have explained them in detail. Hopefully you will understand them, but still if there is anything to ask, you may. Alright, formation of acid rain. How acid rain is formed? So acidic oxides of carbon, nitrogen and sulfur are highly soluble in water. These gases react with rainwater, producing different acids. For example, look here. Acid rain due to carbon dioxide. Is carbon dioxide H2O, 1 carbon, 2 and 1, 3 oxygens and H2. So carbon dioxide with water will form H2CH3, which is carbonic acid. Similarly, acid rain due to oxides of sulfur, SOx. What happens? The sulfur dioxide, which is a pollutant, reacts with oxygen gas in the air, and it forms sulfur trioxide, right? This sulfur trioxide then reacts with water and forms sulfuric acid, which is acidic in nature, more acidic as compared to carbonic acid. So if you look here, only one step happened to form carbonic acid, and there are 2 steps to form sulfuric acid. For formation of nitric acid, acid rain because of nitrogen oxides what happens that nitric oxide reacts with ozone in the form of ground level ozone, okay, in the presence of sunlight, to form nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. This nitrogen dioxide reacts with another ozone of the atmosphere, which results in the formation of nitrogen trioxide and oxygen. Then nitrogen trioxide reacts with nitrogen dioxide of the atmosphere to give nitrogen pentoxide. Nitrogen pentoxide means dinitrogen pentoxide, okay, 2 nitrogen and 5 oxygen, dinitrogen pentoxide. Then what happens that this dinitrogen pentoxide finally reacts with water to give HNO3. How many molecules? 2 moles of HNO3. And similarly, the nitrogen dioxide, it will react with water. 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide will react with water and will make nitric acid and nitrous acid. HNO3 nitric acid, HNO2 nitrous acid. Let's remaining reactions are quite easy. Let's see how this reaction happened. Okay, so this is N2O5 dinitrogen pentoxide will react with water molecule to give what? See, H, we want to make nitric oxide, right? So here altogether 2 hydrogen were here, we were having 1 hydrogen, this means 1 hydrogen is left. Then we are having 2 nitrogen, we got 1 nitrogen, this means another nitrogen is left. Then we are having 5 and 1, altogether 6 oxygen, we got 3. So how many are left? 3 are left. So this means that 2 moles of one HNO3 and other HNO3 are formed, right? Similarly, the other reaction was that 2 nitrogen dioxide, 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide will react with H2O, water. What will happen? We will get HNO3 plus what else will be remaining case? That is 1 hydrogen is taken. How many are left? 1. 1 nitrogen is taken. 1 nitrogen is left. And see, hydrogen is done. 2 hydrogen were with us, so that's covered. Nitrogen, 1 is here, 2 nitrogens are here, so we are still having 1, so we put it here. And then we are having altogether 2 2s are 4 and 1 5 oxygen, so 3 are settled here. So this means 2 oxygen are left. So it is nitric acid, whereas HNO2 is known as nitrous acid. Both are acids, and when they are present in the atmosphere, they will cause by reaction with water, they will cause acid rain, right? So what you have to do, you have to read it, you have to understand it. Your homework is to read on page number 143, that is the effect of acid rain on fish and wildlife, effect of acid rain on plant and trees, effect of acid rain on materials, effect of acid rain on humans, and effect on soil. So do read them and visit your Google Classroom to check what is your written homework. Have a blessed day. Bye bye. Take care. If there is anything to ask, you may ask. All right. Thank you very much. Bye bye.